Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Come on in, come on in, come on in. Let me turn my mic down a little bit. It's a little hot. There we go. Check 1, 2, and 2. How is everybody doing today? My name is Thomas Brush. I make indie games for a living. Today's going to be really, really fun. We're actually going to jump inside of Photoshop, and we're going to be doing a lot of concept art, two-dimensional concept art, so that my 3D modeler, Felipe, his link is below, so that my 3D modeler, Felipe, can actually go ahead and start modeling these for our game that's about a little dog. So guys, before we jump inside of Photoshop, I did want to let you know that it is a very special week here. We've got a spring sale for full-time game dev. Guys, this is my massive 30+ hour program. It is now 50% off right now. It's only for 200 students. We've already sold about 50 of the seats. So if you want to join the program, there's 150 coupon codes left for 50% off. This isn't going to last long. It's probably going to end next week on like Monday. So if you're interested, be sure to check that out. You're also going to get my free course here called Stream My Game. Well, it's free now. It's only free right now. It's called Stream My Game. It's a new course about how to get YouTubers to play your game. I think that's a really important discussion to have. So I teach the tricks that I've used to get Jacksepticeye to play my games, to even get a response from somebody like PewDiePie, to get a response from the Game Grumps. I teach how you do that. There's actually some tactics on how to do that. But anyway, the program is massive. There's a ton to learn here. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty here, but I'm just going to let you know we've got 3,000 students worldwide. We've got a ton of people hanging out on the private Discord server, thousands of people, and they're all learning about 2D art and 3D. They're learning about 100 step-by-step videos and tutorials here for 31 hours of content. So it's like secrets from, regarding getting funding from publishers or funding from Kickstarter. I've done both, 6 figures in funding from both with games that I haven't even finished, demos, unfinished products. I was able to go full-time before I even finished my games. Obviously, you're going to learn C#, learn 2D and 3D game dev, how to hit the Steam front page, how to get the press to notice you, all that cool stuff, guys. So be sure to check that out using the link below. All right, I'll shut up. Let's go ahead and jump inside of Photoshop. Excuse me, guys. I got spring allergies. Okay, so basically what we're working on right now is we have a list of enemies that we want to create, okay? This is one of the enemy types, and this is basically the same thing as if I hit play here in our game. This enemy type, this hedgehog, is basically the same thing as these beetles here. It's just if you try and jump on them, you're going to get hurt, okay? Because they have a horn on their head. So it's basically a hedgehog with a horn coming out of the back. What you're going to have to do is actually dash into them by pressing shift, which currently doesn't work for some reason. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So what we've done here is we've created this hedgehog here. This is basically completed. So what I mean is we're going to send this on over to Felipe. He's going to do some 3D models for this design. And then we're going to work on a few other designs, mainly the pig design. Today, I'm really, really excited to start working on the pig design. The pig is basically going to be a bomb, okay? So a lot of enemies in these 3D platformer games, if you destroy them, they sort of bounce around and then they explode. So you have to avoid them after they die. Also, he might do an explosion every like 5 seconds to sort of warn you to stay away from him. So let's go ahead and start the design for this pig. Okay, so this enemy hedgehog has just been sent over to Felipe. So he's going to start work on that soon. I don't know if he's going to start today. I'll probably need to talk to him first. But what we want to do here is just get a very general idea of what this pig is going to look like. So I'm just going to draw it. Now, this is what we're using today. We're just using a simple mouse, okay? So we want something like this, maybe a little smirk here, mean eyes, but I kind of want it to have that Thomas Brush eye. What I mean is all my enemies usually have just little dots, okay? So we'll just do a little dot here for our pig, something like that. And what I was thinking is, what if we make him look like a bomb? And he becomes super red. Maybe he's really angry. Maybe he's got like a temper. So it's something like this. Maybe something like that. That's kind of cool, okay? Tiny little feet. All the enemies in the game kind of feel like either balls or they feel like flat pancakes. So we've got a flat pancake look here. We've also got kind of a ball shape for the dog here, especially when you choose the pug design. He's got a ball shape, right? So we want to make sure that everything in the game has that feel of roundness or flatness. So we've got this funny little bank. He's a pig. We could make him kind of look like a piggy bank, though. What I'm thinking is he has a little top hat. Just a tiny little top hat. Something like this, okay? And to make him look like a bomb, I'm thinking his tail sort of starts to spark, okay? So his tail starts to spark. Once it hits to about here, he'll do a pop, and then it'll start again. It doesn't destroy him automatically. You have to jump on his head to destroy him, okay? So this is our design here, okay? So I'm going to take this hedgehog over. This is really important. One thing you want to do with your concept art is you want to make sure you bring it over, and I'm going to just scale it down and have it up here. I want all of my enemies to have the same very similar look here. So it's important to have your enemies sort of hanging out on the screen somewhere just to get an idea of what they all look like. The same is true with this beetle here. I'm going to take this beetle. I'm going to take this design. I don't actually have a concept for it because we didn't have concept art for the beetle. But I'm going to take this beetle, and I kind of like get an average sort of look at it. So something like that, right? I'm going to go to screen grab. I'm going to grab a screenshot here. There we go. And I just want to paste him into here so we can get a good idea of what all of our enemies look like. Guys, don't underestimate the importance of making sure all of your enemies have a cohesive look, okay? And this also helps with size, okay? So I think the hedgehog, we want it to be a little bit bigger than the beetle, right? So there are various designs here, and now we're going to start working on this pig. So I'm going to lock these layers here. This one is just for reference, so I'm going to disable it. And what I want to do is actually take this hedgehog here, and I'm going to scale it down. And I'm going to just start cutting, okay? I'm going to use the Polygon Lasso tool, and I'm just going to cut away his head. Actually, let's do this. Let's use that shape as a reference point. And I think what I want to do is just get a nice circle here to sort of see, okay, that looks about right. Maybe squash it a little bit. Okay? And again, guys, we're using a simple mouse here. We're not using any pen tablet for our illustrations. This is just to show you that you can be strategic and use a mouse and not be required to understand anything about sketching, okay? I think we're going to do pink, and the reason why is because sometimes, every once in a while, I'm trying to keep my color schemes very consistent here, but every once in a while we do have some pink in the game. Pink right here, pink sweater obviously, but also pink on those cupcakes as well. So let's go ahead and find that pink color for the cupcakes. It's very, very important. This is a huge tip that I try and teach my students. I try and teach you guys, is that when you're working on your indie game, especially indie games, because your game isn't going to be super realistic, because it's not going to be, probably not going to be impressive when it comes to the fidelity of the graphics, it's important to try and make it look artsy and make it look beautiful. So what I like to do is I like to have a very simplistic color scheme and follow that color scheme no matter what I'm doing, okay? So there's our pig color here. Let's go ahead and create his nose. And a nose for a pig is it let's Google the let's go ahead and Google it. So what I like to do is just type cartoon and then whatever animal you're thinking of, cartoon pig, and it'll definitely give you an idea here. All right. So what we've got is we've got sort of a round snout here. And this is why it's so important to reference other images. Look at this. This image here gives you sort of the general idea of the relative scale of his head. We want to do sort of the same thing for the pig, okay? This is what's going to make it look really funny, actually, is having a huge round body and then a sort of flat, tiny little nose here, okay? Let's take this and just do, just round dots. So we could probably do something like this. There we go. 2 round dots, and this is definitely inspired by Animal Crossing in terms of the lack of detail. Definitely gonna have a lack of detail here. I'm going to scale it like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that, we're going to duplicate it, and we're going to make it look a little bit 3D here. So color overlay, do something like this. A little darker here. There we go. And something like that. Okay, so far not so great, but it's okay. We're going to figure it out as we move along here. Alrighty, let's do some eyes. We're getting there. We're getting there. Once you start throwing in the eyes and the ears, you could kind of get a better idea of what you're looking at here. He looks like an idiot. Let's do the let's throw in the ears, okay? And by the way, those of you just joining us, just remember that Full-Time Game Dev is currently 50% off right now. Guys, this sale doesn't last forever. I say it's probably going to end next week. I'm pretty sure it's going to end next week. Sometimes I'll extend it. Usually I don't. But it's probably going to end next week on Monday. There's the bottom banner. I think it says 50 seats left. It's actually 150 seats left. That's an old banner, and I just threw it on there. I was like, oh, crap. So we want to make sure that I clarify. I think there's 150 seats left currently. Let's do the ears, tiny little ears. Tiny little triangles for ears. I may have Felipe do 3D ones here, but we'll do that with the with some shading. We'll make it look more 3D. But yeah, Full-Time Game Dev, you're going to learn everything I've learned in the last decade of making indie games. That includes getting funding from publishers, getting funding from Kickstarter. That's 6 figures in funding before I even finish my game. That includes C#, 2D, making 3D games, how to get press coverage, how to land your game on the Steam front page, how to make a big splash when you launch your game. Basically, everything you need to know about starting an indie game studio, it's at this program. I usually don't brag about how good the program is, but I do know that my students love it. I've got 3,000 students worldwide. That's a lot of students. I'm very, very humbled by that many students. It's pretty amazing. But we have great reviews. And by the way, if you're a student, feel free to say hello in the chat. I always love saying hello back to you guys, so feel free to say hello. Okay, we've got these silly ears here. The eyes are fine. Let's see here. Does he need a mouth? I don't think he needs a mouth because there's no mouths for any of these other enemies here. All right, let's give him a dumb top hat. Make him just look stupid. Let's put a little top hat right on the top of his back, maybe. I might need to change it, but we'll try that. I feel like it needs to be like right here, but let's just try it. One hat here. This looks so dumb. Oh, man. We might need to make his face bigger because he looks a little too round. And we'll make him look angry as well in just a second. All right, so there's his top hat. And I kind of want it to like bounce on his back when he walks. But to make it look more like a top hat, we're just going to give it a little bit of a ribbon here. You could even go like make it a white ribbon, okay? And it looks like crap right now. It really does. And that's okay because we're going to slowly work on just the shapes here. And you guys know I'm really into making sure the shapes are perfect. I'm going to make this look a little bit more, I don't know the right word, polygonal. Not polygamy, but polygonal. So that it matches the fidelity or the lack thereof for these other enemies here. Now he looks more like a 3D object. See that? But yeah, like if you start with a very simplistic, that looks great. I honestly love that. If you start with a very simplistic shape here, very simplistic colors, you can slowly move towards higher detail, but you really want to get the shape perfect. And this is especially important when you're thinking about your game mechanics. You don't want to get too detailed with the design until it fits perfectly with your mechanics. So what I'm saying is these designs here are very simplistic. This one here is very simplistic. We probably won't tweak them and make them look really good and really polished until we know that the designs work. So in a way, we're kind of making, I don't know, like it's kind of like level blocking, but for enemies. Very, very simplistic enemies here. Okay, so his face, his eyes, I think, they're a little bit too large, actually. So we can do something like this, and then we're going to make him look like he's got a really bad temper. What I'm thinking for these enemies is they sort of go like that, and they get really red and start to smoke, and then like they pop. And it's almost as if they need to just go to anger management. That's how mad they are. So that's the idea here for these pigs. They're just pissed. So here we go. Let's do this. Make him look a little bit mad. I think to make him look a little bit more angry, we could probably do something like this. Okay. Give it wings. Give it wings so it will be swine flu. Oh man, dad jokes. I love it. I love that. Okay, good, good. And we'll give him little red cheeks here so that he's pissed. He's very, very pissed here. Awesome. Drop it down. We'll make him look a little bit shiny too. I think we can go ahead and add just a little bit of detailing to this shine here. Alrighty. Let's see. Set that to overlay. And then just sort of fade out the edges here. So he's got a little bit of a shine here. And we'll make it look more like a polygon here. And we're just using the Polygon Lasso tool here to make this design. Okay, there we go. Now, for his tail, this is something I'm really excited about. For his tail, we want it to be sort of like a fuse. Okay. There we go. Probably need to make it a little bit thinner. There we go. And yeah, let's make it a little bit thinner. And add a red tip. Or we could even do the same orange here. Remember what I said about keeping our color simplistic and sort of maintaining the hue. There we go. So let's actually increase the brightness of this to make it look bright. And I'm going to go ahead and just draw out the particles here just to make sure we know what this is for the concept art. So something like this. We'll do white. Anytime you want something to look bright and vibrant, guys, like it's glowing, what you do is you start with basically a white center, and then you do an outer glow. You can do this anywhere, Photoshop, Blender with shaders, or Unity with shaders, or post-processing effects. The glow is what's going to have a hue, okay? There we go. So the inside is white, and the glow has a colored hue. There we go. So there is... It looks pretty cool. I think to make it look like a bomb, though, I wonder if we need to put some sort of like a square or something back there, just so it looks like a bomb. I know in like Zelda games, if something's gonna look like a bomb, it's got sort of like this sort of round shape here. So let's try that. Almost. Maybe cut it here, and then here. Okay, so far so good. And then we'll put little tiny feet down here. Now, what some of you might think, man, that didn't take long at all, and that is the goal. And it's, you know, it's at the expense of the artwork. This mentality, which is get things done fast, it will have an effect on the artwork. It's not going to look as polished as what you might expect from a higher budget game. But when we're working on games like this, when you're working on your indie game, you want to make sure you're very careful with your time that you're spending on your projects, okay? And it doesn't mean you can't go in later and make it more detailed or more unique. But for now, this is about all we want to do here, okay? So let's see here. Let's zoom out. Good. I think the top hat needs to be bigger, and the face needs to be bigger. Because I'm looking at the size of this hedgehog's face. It just seems bigger for some reason. It might not be, but relative to the scale of the other, what am I doing here? Hold on. The other enemies, I think we need to make it a little bit bigger here. Okay. There we go. There we go. I don't know why that's there, but whatever. Let's convert it to a smart object. and scale it up. Yeah. There we go. So lower it down there. Very good, very good. And then finally, guys, I'm going to take all of this stuff. I'm going to merge it together into one big smart object so that we can start adding some shading to it. Okay, very subtle shading. It helps to add a drop shadow, so let's add a drop shadow, just a circle here. Let's take the color of that top hat, put it right there, and drop the opacity down. Make sure I save it. Make sure the enemy hedgehog here is saved as well. Okay, there we go. All right, first thing I want to do here is just add a very subtle dark shade below here. You might want to set it to overlay. Yeah, it makes him look a little bit more angry. But we'll also just add a regular shade as well that's not an overlay. Okay, something like that. Good, good, good. And why not go ahead and throw in some highlights here for the hat, and then also for this right here, just this little edge here to make it look like there's a, what do you call it, an edge there. Okay, so drop down the opacity like this. There we go, good, save it. Then what I'm gonna do is merge, let's just go ahead and merge everything together. Merge layers, good, good, good. And now what we can do is this gonna be fun. We're gonna add a very subtle highlight here, which you'd call, it would be called a rim light. We can achieve this with our 2D Colors Pro shader. You can actually just go ahead and click rim light and it will add a rim light. And basically this lighting, it's not really a lighting source. It's not coming from anywhere. It's just always rendered, sort of highlighting the edge. It's almost like cell shading. Okay, so we've got that here. I'm gonna fade this out though right here. Kind of conflicting with the, there we go. Okay, good. And finally, I keep saying finally, that's because I keep wanting to make more and more and more here, but we're gonna finish this up in just a second here. But let's go ahead and add a little bit of a shade here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create two versions of this guy. One is gonna be what he looks like normal, and the other one's gonna be what he looks like when he's really, really mad. Okay, so what's a visual cue that we can give to this guy to show that he's mad? Well, the first thing is increase the contrast, darken the brightness like this, so he gets super pissy. But also, I'm curious, isn't there like an emoji or some kind of image, or is it like an exclamation mark, or you see it sometimes in anime where they get really mad? What is it? Is it a hashtag? What is it? It's like this. Is it a hashtag? Yeah, let's think here. I'm trying to, I don't watch a lot of anime, despite the fact that I do like it. I just don't watch a lot. Anime angry face, or symbol. There it is. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Yeah, it's kind of like a hashtag, but what it is this. It's, can you put it on their face? It's something like this right here. Come on. What is going on? Delete. So it's like this. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm going to take that symbol from Google. There it is. Let's copy it, paste it, and we're just going to put it, what I'm going to do is have a particle emitter, and it just sort of shows how angry he is with this particle. Okay, so we'll just put it here for now, just to sort of signify that he's mad. Yeah, you put it at like their forehead. Yeah, something like that. Got it. Let me add some stroke to it. Yeah, but this will be done with the particle emitter. So that's how angry he is, and I wonder if we could probably increase that darkness and contrast a little bit more. Maybe add a shine to him, so it looks like he's sweating almost. Okay, and then he just pops, right? That's the goal. There we go. Do an overlay. Duplicate that significantly. There we go. All right, guys, we've got our angry pig. Okay. I'm going to save that out. What we're going to do is just label it so that our 3D modeler knows what's going on. This is regular or default. Let's just have it say default. Okay. White text. And then angry. And I'll tell the modeler ignore scale. Okay. There we go. Good. Just like that. All right. So let's go ahead and remove those at the top here. Center everything up. And I'm going to say achieved, I don't know if I spelled that right, in Unity with color shifting the albedo. That's the goal at least, right? I like to list out my goals here so that Felipe knows what we're trying to achieve while he's modeling it in Blender, okay? There we go. Awesome. Center this up because I'm getting paranoid, or not paranoid, OCD about this stuff here. Okay, making everything centered and clean. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add this to our game design document. So I'm going to merge all these together really quick, and we'll start working on the next design. So I'm going to merge all that together, copy it. Let's go to our game design document, which is, where is it? There it is. There's our game design document. I'm going to, yep. Just paste it on in there and we'll get started on the next design. The next design, well, actually, let me merge it with the background here. There we go. The next design is a horned rat, I believe. Let's take a look here. There we go, dash rat. So the dash rat is a standard rat, kind of like what you might see in Wind Waker. I don't know if you guys remember the rats in Wind Waker. Jump on them once and they die, but they will, however, dash at you for a couple seconds if they see you. They have some kind of a horn on their face to indicate that you really need to be careful, almost like they kind of look almost like an arrow. So let's go ahead and start that design. So let's create a new document. We're going to do 1080 by, or 1920 by 1920. Good. And again, guys, same thing here. We're going to take all of our designs here. So in this case, it's this one here. We've got our pig. Paste him in here, just like that. There's our pig design. Let's take our hedgehog here. Select inverse. I know I should have saved it as a transparent object, but I didn't. With these concepts, I'm not too picky about making sure everything's saved properly. I know it's not the best idea. So there's our hedgehog, there's our pig, right? And then also our, let's get our beetle again. Sorry guys, I forgot to save the beetle. Pull that all the way up here and then press F, go to it, and then get a screenshot really quick. I just like to get an idea of all of the different shapes. Now this is so important because here's why this is so important. To get all of your enemies in one document so that you can see them. The reason is, if you can notice, we're getting a little bit redundant with our shapes. Yes, it's ideal that the majority of our objects here, or our enemies, have sort of a circular shape. But the problem is that it can get pretty boring, all right? So what I want to do is, for this rat, have him look a little bit more maybe flat and long so that he looks a little bit more unique, okay? So we have our round enemies here, but let's go ahead and make something that looks a little bit more flat, okay? So I think it's kind of going to look like the hedgehog, but a little bit more flat. I could probably just take the hedgehog, paste him in, and we can get right to sort of remaking that hedgehog look more like a flat mouse, okay? Because he's kind of got like a mousy look to him, right? So we can probably do something like this. So I just cut. I'm using, again, guys, those of you just joining us, we're using a very simple mouse here to do our designs, okay? All right. I don't think he needs a lot of hair. I think overall he looks pretty good here. But his nose, I want it to actually be a spike. So it's going to be interesting. He's going to look like a mouse that has a spike coming out of his face. Okay. There we go. It almost looks like an anteater, right? But the way we're going to make it look like a mouse, I'm going to cut this a little bit here, is we're going to make him gray. So let's go ahead and find a gray color in our scene. Let's hit play here. All right, so we have plenty of gray here. So let's go ahead and grab some of the stone here. There we go. I like that color. I'm going to remove the post-processing effects. Do a quick screen grab of this color here, copy it, paste it into Photoshop. So that's the color we want to use for the rat, okay? It's like a greenish brown, like that right there, okay? Color overlay, good. And for his feet, or his nose, same thing. Just do a simple color overlay. Okay, merge it together. Now let's go ahead and take a look at a mouse cartoon. Mouse cartoon, not Mickey Mouse, right? But a very simplistic rat. This is kind of what we're looking for here. Honestly, this looks great. So don't underestimate the value, guys, of actually looking at cartoons, because what cartoons do is they still down the distinct features of an animal so that it looks like that animal. And we can get away with a lot of other stuff as long as we've got those generic features down, okay? All right. There we go. Let me check on the chat, make sure everybody's happy. Is everybody good? Good, good, good. Come on in. Awesome. We've got a large viewership today. 224 of you guys. That's awesome. I think now would be a good time to ask you guys to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Leave a comment as well. All right, let's get his nose looking more like a rat's just for now, and then we'll put like a thorn coming out of it, like a really thin red thorn or something sticking out of the nose. So it's really these ears here. I think that's gonna make it look more like a rat. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that the underside of him looks kind of like the way this rat does here. You've got pink legs, right? So something like this. Tiny little legs too, thinner. There we go. Tiny little legs for our mouse. And sort of go up around his face for this lighter color, okay? Take this, go a little bit lighter. There we go. And I'm going to cut this here so it looks a little bit more 3D. Yep. Something like, let's see, how does a rat's face actually shape up here? So a lot of people don't have anything going around on the face. So it's just the belly. It's just the belly, okay? There we go. All right, guys. So one of the things you want to make sure you do when you receive a text message is answer your text message. That's what we're gonna do right now. One sec here. Sorry, I gotta do something. My wife is texting me. We'll let that load. For some reason, it's not loading. All right. So let's go ahead and delete that. And what I want to do is change these to pink feet. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, and we're going to use the pink from the pig, right? Again, this is really why it's so important to keep your color palette. Come on, phone. There we go. Give me just a sec, guys, here. I gotta help my wife out with something. Three, two, one. Okay, so we've got this sort of mousy shape with his, or mousy color with his feet. This background's driving me nuts. It's a little too dark. I can't really see what's going on. So let's take this pink color here, or maybe even this blue, and fill it in there. There we go. That looks pretty cool. This just helps me get a better visual on what we're working on here. The eyes, we can do something very similar to the hedgehog here, right? Excuse me. So we're going to do about a size like this. There, we're getting there, aren't we? And then also one back here. It really helps to do those eyes. Very, very helpful. And it looks like mouses have a pink nose. Isn't that interesting? I didn't know that. So mouses have a pink nose. I guess sometimes black. So we'll do just a little pink nose here. But coming out of it, this is where it gets a little more Tim Burton-y, a little bit weird, is a tiny little sharp spike sticking out of his nose, right? We could even do this. We could do, let's see here. We get pretty small pink here. We could even do a little bit of a fade. We could try this. Just testing it out here. We could do like a pink fade. Yeah, something like that. That's kind of cool. And then a very subtle here. How about this? Just like that. I like that. That's cool. That's so weird looking, but I like it. And you know, something that's really important to remember here is we're thinking about function a lot right now. We're thinking a lot more about function than we are about, hey, this is a mouse. And that's why I like making games that are more cerebral, more dreamy, more weird, because it allows me to create very functional but weird, bizarre designs. I think the same is true with Tim Burton and somebody like David Lynch. You might see them adding a bunch of strange stuff to their films, and you're thinking, why did you do that? Well, they're thinking more about the functionality of the theme and the message and the mood. They're thinking of that over the actual, like, real world functionality of a character. And so I think the same is true when you're working, especially on these fun adventure games. Kirby's a great example. Kirby's Dream Land, or any of the Kirby games, especially Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, which I'm playing that now. Same sort of mentality here. Let's see here. What color is your ear? Yeah, so the inside is going to be pink. Okay. But yeah, with the Kirby games, you're looking at functionality first and then design, or really it's like what kind of animal it is, or what kind of, how it fits into the story. I feel like that's secondary, right? Let's create this and rotate it a little bit. Yeah, there we go. And we'll do one over here as well. I'm going to duplicate those on top of each other so we can fill out the, really fill this in. That's what I do sometimes when I make mistakes. I'll just, if something's too faint and I've already rasterized it, I'll just duplicate them on top of each other. Okay, so that one we can probably just do this. There we go. All right. I can remove that maybe. Let's see, what would his tail look like? And like I said, guys, we want it to look a little bit more flat and a little bit more long. So I'm going to figure this out here. We're going to do something like this. And I think the tail will serve to solve that problem of making him look a little bit more long and less flat. We're going to add some Tim Burton flourishes to all the designs in just a second. And what I mean by Tim Burton flourishes, stripes, add some scratches and scuffs, make things look a little bit more emo. You guys know I'm into that. So we're going to see what we can do. That looks a lot better like that. Yeah. Maybe scale it up a lot. Okay. Delete here. Maybe make this a little bit thinner. You guys know I like making things really thin and creepy looking. So we're going to do something like that. Okay. I think we could probably exaggerate the scale of that tail significantly. And how we animate this is really going to be up to Felipe. My theory is it might be cool to make it one big physics object that sort of just drags behind the player or the mouse. But let's go ahead and just add pink here to the tail. So I'm thinking it sort of goes, it sort of faintly turns less and less pink. Yeah, there we go. That looks cool. I think that nose could be longer. So let's scale down the mouse. Not those designs here. There we go. Let's just scale down the entire mouse. Okay, including that ear and the eye. Scale it down like this. And let's make this nose much more prominent. We want it to be like, whoa, stay away from this weird looking mouse. Okay. One of the ways we can achieve this is make it shiny. Okay, so we're going to increase the lightness here just a tad. And then do a very, very subtle white highlight here. Okay. And by the way, if you hear my kid screaming in the background, that's because he's about to go down for his nap. And he likes to scream when he's going down for a nap. Which is, well, for those of you who have kids, you know what that's like. That's just the way it goes. No, my wife is putting him down right now. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and add just a subtle pink here so his face is a little bit bigger. Yeah, no, we're getting there. We're getting there. Maybe round it off here. Let's see here. Maybe a little bit smaller here. I think, yeah, that kind of looks cool. I like how it's sort of bulbous right there. Maybe we could even do it a little bit more. We could probably just get away with doing it like this. Yeah. What a weird looking mouse. Okay, let's make him look angry. I need to make sure I save this though. It's going to be called Enemy Rat. And let's think here. They dash at you, so they're basically the bugs, but they dash at you. That's basically all they do. I'm going to squash this down. Rotate it. There we go. And by the way, those of you just joining us, just remember full-time game dev is currently 50% off. You're going to learn everything I've learned in the last decade of making indie games and starting your own sustainable indie game studio. It's not gimmicky. I could say that confidently because I have students, 3,000 students. And by the way, if you're a student, feel free to say hello in the chat. I have 3,000 students. We got 50 new students yesterday, so that means there's 150 seats left. This sale event will end next week. So if you're interested in joining the program and also getting my brand new free course, it's called Stream My Game. You're going to get that totally free. It's about how to get streamers to play your game. So if you're interested, guys, obviously that supports my studio and helps us actually fund this project here. But that's not the point here. The point is you guys, and I want you guys to succeed. I want you to learn. So it's an investment in your future. And so it's a massive discount. This is one of the bigger discounts that I do because it's the spring sale event. So celebrating spring and a new season will change. So feel free to check that out below, guys. Those slots always sell out. Well, I shouldn't say always, should I? They usually do sell out. I think maybe the holiday, maybe it was like the second Christmas sale we did. They didn't sell out, but they usually do. They usually do. So be sure to grab those if you're interested. All right, we added a little bit of shade here. Let's make his angry eyes. I forgot to do that because I was selfishly doing a sponsored ad read here for the course. But let's see here. Let's make him look a little bit more angry. I think it's important to make him look angry because he just looks so cute. And if you're going to smash his head in, you want to feel justified, right? Let me just grab the color here. There we go. Cool, 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 cool. Same is true with this one. We're going to do a little overlay on top of it. And there we go. Pixboy, you're a student. That's awesome. Welcome, welcome. Patrick Deinhardt is also a student of full-time game dev. I hope you guys are enjoying the program. I'm sort of putting myself on the line here. Are you enjoying it? Oh, Mini Tom Official is a student as well. That's awesome. Are you guys enjoying the program? I hope you are. I really do. I like it when people are happy. All right, let's add a little bit of fur here. Patrick, that's awesome, buddy. I'm glad. Oh, Java Joe joined last night. Welcome, Java. Thanks for joining the program. Thanks for obviously supporting, funding this game. But more importantly, good luck on your journey. I hope to see you succeed. It's a long journey. It's hard. But I really wish you the best of luck. This is a really cool looking rat, actually. I like it a lot. Uh-oh. Photoshop's frozen. Dean is a student. Awesome. That's awesome. Captain Buster, feel free to email fulltime game dev, thomas@fulltimegamedev.com with the subject line, Thomas said to email you. We'll see what we can do about that. Seriously, feel free to email me. Patrick, the course is really helpful. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the program. Seriously, it means a lot to me. What is going on? Yay! I love that. Yay, Photoshop. Yay, yay. Son of a bee. Okay, let's see here. There we go. Okay, apparently it wanted to print my little rat here. I think we have a problem here. I don't think he looks like, I think that horn just isn't working for me. I think we probably need to make it smaller. Maybe something like this. Do it like right in there. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Again, it's about that functionality, guys. We're thinking about functionality and really communicating to the player. Avoid me. I'm about to ram my nose into your face. That's really what we want to communicate to the player right now. So we're going to try our best and see what we can do. I kind of like that shape better, despite the fact that now he kind of looks like an anteater. I think it communicates it a lot better. Okay, something like that. That means that the red face, or the pink face, should probably be extended here just a little bit, just like that. We can cut out the portions here where his eyes are so that they're still dark. Okay, so let's see. If we remove that, yeah, okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. If you stick a bit of cheese on the nose, like like cheese like this, that would be funny. You have like a little block of cheese on his nose. I like that. I think having it look a little bit more round, like it's sort of protruding out, is probably ideal here. So let's take a look. Yeah, I feel like we're getting close. Very subtle. It's, these kind of details really matter. I think he's a little too thin right here. I'm looking at it on my other screen right here, sort of looking at it smaller, because we're not always going to see it this close up. Again, creating, and I say again because we talked about this last week, but creating a character design for your game is very much like logo work, like creating a logo for your game. You want it to look great at all sizes. That's what she said. So you really want to make sure you're zooming in and out like this and seeing how it looks. Part of me wonders what it would look like if it was just a shiny red nose that's really sharp and it slowly like crystallizes into a dark. It's weird. It's a really weird design here. It's hard to explain, but Yeah, that might work. I kind of like that better. And then what you do is you go ahead and you start making it darker. But the way you do that is you also you make it really red just before you go to the dark. See that? So now it looks like it's almost infected, which I like. For enemies, I like. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Grumpy spiky rat, that's right. And we'll add some shines and gradients and all sorts of cool stuff to this rat here. All right, let's save it. Let's add a little shine here. Just coming straight down the center. There we go. And then like this. See? Very shiny nose. Just like Rudolph. And what I'm going to do here is just add some subtle gradient changes here. And watch this. All you got to do is just do just subtle bursts. There we go. To make it look like there's depth to his fur. We'll do one more set. Make sure we grab this piece here. Come on, Thomas, what are you doing, buddy? And select inverse. Whoops, no, select inverse. There we go. Drop it down significantly and then fade out right here. How the 3D modeler interprets this information into 3D is really up to them. Right now, the goal is just to communicate how it should look at a certain angle, okay? So there's our rat. So basically they're gonna be like, they'll sort of like sit there and charge and then go and zoom at you. Almost like, you know those flying birds in Hollow Knight and they go and they charge at you? Same sort of thing here. It actually makes me wonder if we wanna do something like that for a flying enemy, like a bat or something. So very cool, very cool. Starts to charge and his nose grows, yeah. Pinocchio rat. I actually really like that. Yeah, Felipe will take care of it, no worries. That's what I'm thinking all the time. You know, Felipe's got it. He'll figure it out. Well, that's why I like Felipe. He's very flexible. I'm sure I'm very annoying, but he is very flexible with figuring things out. Okay, guys. So we've got our rat done. I really like our rat. This is a cool design. So let's go ahead and just scale him up just a little bit. And now we've got our rat. Okay. Rat, pig, porcupine. Let's fill this in here. Paste him just so he's transparent. Add that overlay for the shadow. Okay. All right. Very, very good. Awesome blossom. So guys, that's how you'd really handle concept art in an indie studio. I mean, there's a ton of ways to do it, but this is how I do it. I'll basically throw together some very simplistic designs and just paste them into the game design document. I have a section at the bottom of my document. It's on Google Drive. It's a Google Doc, and it's just reference images. And I'll paste all of my images down there, and then in the enemy section where we're describing the enemies and how they move and what they do, I'll say reference the image below. So that helps Felipe see how everything's supposed to be laid out and how everything's supposed to work. Okay, guys? So thank you so much for joining me today. That's about all we've got time for today. Just remember, guys, you can go ahead and check out Full-Time Game Dev right now. Again, it is 50% off. This is one of my bigger sale events for the year. Spring, summer, and holiday sales are usually the biggest sales. So this is 50% off. You're also going to get my new course, Stream My Game, totally free with this course. I appreciate you guys listening to these ad reads. It really means a lot to me because it does support the projects that we work on. Obviously, game sales, selling my games also supports as well. But this is a great way to fund the projects as well. But more importantly, this is an investment in your future. We've got 3,000 students worldwide. 50 people signed up yesterday. So if you're interested in joining the program, be sure to click the link below. You're going to learn all this cool stuff, 2D and 3D art, 2D art tutorials. I need to change that. That's 3D. Well, no. There's 3D. There's 3D. No, I think there is 3D art tutorials. There is. Yeah. I'm sorry. My mind was blanking. Securing funding from publishers and Kickstarter, and how to hit the Steam front page, how to learn the basics of C# and also Unity, 13 plus editable workbooks, and obviously also Kickstarter, which is one of my favorite things to talk about. So you're gonna learn everything I've learned in the last decade. Anyways, guys, I will talk to you later. This was super duper fun. Cheers. Get over here. Get down. Hey, thanks for watching. By the way, if you haven't downloaded that free 2D game kit below, click below. It's my treat to you. I used this game kit to make a game for PewDiePie in 14 days, and I actually got to play it with him in front of his audience, which was really cool. This game kit is totally free. It's my treat to you, and you can use it however you want. You can make a commercial game and make $1 million off this game kit. I don't care. Or you could just use it for a hobby project. It's my treat to you. And by the way, if you haven't clicked like, that would mean a ton to me. Hit subscribe. And also, this is important, hit that notification bell. Here's why. If you get notified of when I'm live, you can watch me make my next game and let me know in the chat what you think about the game or any ideas you have. And you might just show up. Your chat might just show up in the next video that I upload. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.